This book has a fabric spine to it and a paper cover. I'm going to trim off the fabric spine. I'm pulling off the commercial headbands. Now, using my micro spatula with the pointy end, I'm going to put it underneath the paper cover and split it away from the board about a ½ inch down. And then using the X-Acto knife, I'm going to separate that at the top edge. This is where your new spine will slip under. I'm also going to remove the original fabric spine that was under here so that it's not too bulky when I glue that paper back down. Done the same thing on the other side. Now I'm using a piece of scrap paper to figure out the width of my spine. I line up one edge of the scrap paper with one edge of the spine and mark it on the other side. I use scrap paper instead of a ruler because a lot of times spines are rounded and it's easier to wrap it around. This is a piece of heavyweight cardstock and the lines are used to mark the grain direction of the cardstock. It's also acid free. I'm going to use my scrap paper and mark it in 2 places and then line my roller up with those markings and cut it. Now double check that I have the correct size for the spine. Now I'm going to mark it so that it's the length of the bookboard and cut it. I use the grid on my mat to line it up so that I can cut it so that it's square. Now I'm going to double check that the length is correct. I'm going to cut my spine fabric, so I line up the board for the spine with the bottom edge of the fabric and mark it, and then I'm going to add 2 inches onto that length. Again, I'm using the grid to line everything up to cut it so that it's squared off. Watch your fingers when you're cutting with a ruler and X-Acto knife. So now I want my fabric to overlap the paper about a ½ inch. I'm going to mark the center of my fabric, so I fold it and mark it on the back side. And then connect the lines. Now I'm going to mark 1 inch over from the edge so that I know where to line up my spine board. And I'm going to find the center of the cardstock for the spine. Now glue the backside of the spine, and I use a mixture of methyl cellulose and PVA. Align your spine board with the markings on the fabric. Using my bone folder, I'm going to make sure that it's really adhered, and then put it under a covered brick for a few minutes.